Good day! Today we're going to talk about the school finance in Cambodia. Again, my name is Teacher April, and let's start with the school finance in Cambodia, its challenges and recommendation to become an effective school grants implementation. To ensure adequate, efficient, and equitable finance in schools in the Asia Pacific region by the United Nations Educations, the Bangkok office that had been written by Akemi Ashida and Paul Chea. In 2015, countries of the world assessed the progress made towards the 2015 Education for All goals and the Millennium Development Goals, and set the post 2015 education agenda based on the achievements since 2000. Cambodia noted that it had made impressive progress in both the MDGs and EFA goals. Some of the success was due to the education reforms made by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport. The ministry's third education strategic plan, released in 2010, presented three main policy areas, including one that emphasized decentralization. The subsequent plan, developed with inputs from national and subnational stakeholders, including development partners, sought to strengthen decentralization reforms through enhancing the institutional and capacity development of education staff, with the overall goal ensuring equitable access to education and improving education quality. For school finance grants, this study, school finance was defined as the mobilization, allocation, management, and use of financial resources provided to generated at school level. The largest sources of financial resources for schools in Cambodia are school grants, which there are two types: the school operation budgets, commonly known as the program based budget, and the school improvement grants program. For the research method, it's had a qualitative approach which collected information in school finance from national, subnational, and school level, as well as the development partners such as UNICEF and UNESCO, an in depth test review, and a field study. Number one, the sample selection of the study in Phnom Penh capital and two other provinces like Kampong Thom and Siem Reap for the field study in each location. One Can district and four schools were selected. The four schools in each can consisted of the one lower secondary school and three primary schools, chosen to include various types: urban, rural, and disadvantaged. Then, for the school finance fallacy, with the launch of Priority Action Program nationwide by the Royal Government of Cambodia in 2001, which introduced the school grants policy, primary school enrollment figures that had been increased. This is the education budget of Cambodia from 2000 to 2015. We have the nominal, real term, and national recurrent budget, which is on a slope that is sometimes it's upward and sometimes it's a downward slope, and we can see the progress. Decentralization, National Strategic Development Plan, decentralization, dispersion, reform. For the funding sources, in 2014, public expenditure on education was $335 million, accounting for 6.2% of Cambodia's national budget. And these are the development partners that you can see on the table. The process for policy formulation, wherein education policies are formulated centrally, normally in consultation with subnational stakeholders. For the dissemination, there are guidelines that were prepared at the central level and disseminated to all stakeholders. The budget preparation and allocation at the central and subnational levels. The ministries in Cambodia prepare their budgets in three steps: budget strategic plan, preparation and the annual budget, and adoption of the budget. Following the reforms, budget preparation was decentralized, and the process begins from the bottom, from schools up to the national level. According to the MOEYS guidelines, each school is now required to establish committees for the school operations budget and the school improvement grant program, which are chaired by the school principal. The school budget allocation mechanisms include the following, which are the funding resources, wherein the schools relied on school fees collected from parents, community contributions, and funds raised by school supporting committees to cover their operational expenditures. And these are the financial resources that they have for every district. The school grants, with the support of World Bank, the Education Quality Improvement Project was launched in Takeo and later in Kandal. The experience says the government began the Priority Action Program as a pilot in 10 provinces, then launched it nationwide in 2001. The criteria for the distribution of school budget and grants includes on the public primary level, lower secondary, and this will depends on the school type and the size and the number of the students. That's the budget is all about. For this one, we can see the amounts provided per school and per pupil by the School Improvement Grant Program by its school type. The school committees did not fully understand the reason behind the unexpected or desired budget allocation. There are mismatch of budget allocation that was likely to be because the budgets allocated to the provincial and district education offices are also being classified into sub accounts like the electricity and the water. The design of the budget allocation mechanism at the school level, wherein the committees are responsible for preparing school budgets and annual operational plans for the school operation budgets and the school improvement grants. The committee members include the school principal, a school supporting committee, accountant, teachers, and student. As small schools tend to have the same members in both committees. The school operation budget flow proposal in cash in 2015, wherein it came from National Assembly, passed to the Council of Ministry, then with the Economy and Finance, to the National Treasury, Provincial Treasury, MOEYS, Provincial Education Office, District Education Office, and the school. The school are forced to open new bank accounts so that they can able to reduce the delays in the fund distribution because of the process that we have seen on the previous slide. These receive the allocated program-based budget through electronic banking system. The use of funds of the school level, wherein the decisions on the uses of grant funds are made by the School Improvement Grants Committee and the School Operation Budgets Committee, which had been decided by the school principal, the school support committee head, accountant, and each member, which are the teachers. These are the school operations budget expenditure by sub-account in 2014 in thousand of real. So these are the purchase of good and the purchase of services, which we can see on the percentage and the amount. Monitoring and control of the use of school resources has been monitored by district and provincial educations, audited by MOEYS, and there are external auditor as well, also by Ernest and Young, which was hired under School Improvement Grants Program. For the conclusion and recommendations, by reducing the financial burden on parents, school grants have contributed increasing access to school as children from poor households have more chance of being enrolled. The grants have therefore contributed to greater equity, although school costs are not completely abolished by the school grants contribution from parents continue only on a voluntary basis. There are delay in grant distribution and missing distribution. In some cases, challenges are the grants are distributed late, and in some cases, they do not receive all four installments of the school. The operation budget, furthermore, regardless of the size of the school and the procedure of the grants, are identical, meaning the school operations budget should be distributed in four installments to all school when the amounts distributed are very small. Recommendation: reduce distribution rounds. The government should consider the possibility of reducing the number of installments of the grant distribution distribution from a times a year to 2 or 3 times. A mismatch in allocation by sub-account. Some schools reported receiving budgets that did not match the request and included sub-accounts they did not need, such as water supply and electricity. And it's a flexibility train stop of district education offices, which is gender flexibility in the use of grants by school that will enable them to spend their budgets according to their actual needs. These are some researches that had been conducted in relation with the Wisconsin School of Finance Adequacy Initiative. Another research is about the reality translating adequacy of state finance distribution arrangement by James Guthrie and the Financing School Analysis. Thank you. This is April Wilma Navera. Again, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, and comment, and click the notification bell for more updates. That's it for today, and thank you.